The IRS recently released what you're looking at right now, the draft of the 2025 Form 1040. A lot of things pop out to me as changes. I think that's going to make things a little easier for tax professionals and taxpayers. As I'm looking at this 1040, I can see on the very top there's an area where you can more clearly identify if a taxpayer has been deceased, what date they've been deceased, and also if they're in a combat zone. The dependent area right here is changed as well. Again, more clarity. It's going to be easier for taxpayers and tax professionals and the IRS to process these returns. And right in this dependent area, it's asking if someone's a full-time student and if they're eligible for the child tax credit or any other credits, instead of all of that getting reconciled on another form. The digital asset question is still very pronounced and asked, and that is super, super important. As we walk into the income area, some changes that I think are positive. The first one that pops out to me is that the form is asking if they're reporting their child's dividends on their tax return. There's something called a Kiddie tax that some taxpayers have to, they can elect to just report their child or dependent income on the 1040. Again, a lot of these measures are out there that the IRS put together to make sure the matching, so what's reported to the IRS in their software and what's reported by the taxpayer when they file this Form 1040 match. So asking if the children's dividends or interest are part of the parent tax return is really important. The other thing that I really like to see is an additional question about retirement plan contributions. So retirement plan contributions are reported on a 1099-R, and there's often confusion about if they are a rollover or if they're a QCD, that stands for Qualified Charitable Distribution. In that here, now on 1040, you can see on line 4A, 5A, when you take a retirement plan distribution, was it a rollover? What is it? Was it a QCD? Was it a PSO? So again, there are a lot of additional questions here that allow for clarity. Also, look at the line 1 when we talk about those W-2 wages. It's asking if there's some tip income that wasn't reported, and also tries to reconcile dependent care benefits. Now, Schedule D, which is our capital gains and losses. Sometimes you're not required to file a Schedule D. And if so, you're just going to check a box saying, hey, I don't have to file that, so don't expect it. The final thing I'm going to talk about here on the 1040 draft is this line 13B. Remember, there are a lot of new deductions with OB3. There's a no tax on tips. There's no tax on overtime. There's a car loan interest deduction. Now, these are not deductions that are for itemizers, meaning Schedule A taxpayers, people that are itemizing their deductions, but they're also not a quote-unquote above-the-line deduction that is calculated before adjusted gross income, which is on line 11. So all of these deductions, all these new deductions are going to be reconciled on a Schedule 1A. We have another piece of content just on Schedule 1A, and that's going to get reported right here on line 13B. So a ton of changes with this Form 1040 draft. Anyone who thinks taxes are going to get easier is mistaken. And we look forward, though, to bridging that gap between helping taxpayers identify what is reported on their tax return and what is reported by third parties to the Internal Revenue Service. We're hoping to cut down on those tax notices and audits. Thanks for watching.